Hey everyone, it's Brennen Clouse, your favorite Seattle area realtor. Today we're talking all about what you need to know if you're planning on moving states or moving cities and what you need to think about before you make that big move. Grab a coffee, put up your feet, because by the end of this video, you're gonna know all about the essential steps to making your move. But I wanna know first, put in the comments, what is your biggest question about when you move? What is giving you the most hesitation? What is making you the most nervous? Put in the comments right now before the end what you are most nervous about and what your biggest question is. And hopefully by the end of this video, you'll have that answer. I'm not gonna sugarcoat it. Moving to a new state or a new city can be very, very difficult, especially the more habitual we get in our habits, we know what we like and what we don't like. And so it will be out of your comfort zone to move, but hopefully this video will help you ease into a couple of the things that you can know prior to heading out and into a new city or state. From housing costs to finding the right realtor, wink, wink, we've got you covered with all the insider information and all of the tips that you'll need to know exactly what you can do to put yourself in the best spot when you're moving to a new city or a new state. Let's dive into everything you need to know right now. Tip number one. This is the first thing we're going to talk about, and that is the cost of housing costs. This is a biggie because it can vary dramatically from city to city and state to state. You need to research average home prices and rental rates in your potential new city. You can use websites like Zillow, Redfin, Trulia. You can go on all of these to provide you with a good idea of what the average cost of a house is and what different neighborhoods look like. Now, don't forget to factor in property taxes and homeowners association fees if you are thinking about buying and as you're looking at these costs, and make sure that you look at different neighborhoods as well. Each neighborhood is going to have a different amount and a different average in terms of the housing costs. If you've already checked this essential step off, drop a house emoji below in the comments to let me know you're already ahead of the game. Number two we're gonna get into is the cost of living. Okay, so next you're going to want to consider the overall cost of living. Now, this is a huge umbrella term covering everything you're going to be doing day to day. So you'll have groceries, you'll have utilities, you'll have transportation and healthcare, and other things that are going to cost you money that vary from state to state and city to city. There are free cost of living calculator tools online that can help you compare your current city to potential new cities that you're going to go to. A higher salary might not stretch quite as far when you're living in a significantly higher cost city. So keep that in mind and consider what is your salary going to be in the city that you're moving to. This is number two, cost of living. Number three, taxes and residency requirements. Now, this is not the most exciting topic. I know. Don't click off the video just yet. We'll whiz through this one, I promise. Taxes and residency requirements can take a big bite out of your budget, so it's important to research state and local taxes, including what is your income tax, sales tax, and property tax. Also, check out any residency requirements that it might affect your move, such as how long you need to live there to qualify for in-state tuition or tax benefits. I know that as someone living in Washington state, this is really important because we don't have income tax. We are similar to a few other states in the US that do not, and this plays a huge role in how much money I take home at the end of the day, and that factors into my cost of living essentially. And so these are things that you do need to know and be aware of. Number four, we're gonna talk about the job market and commuting. Let's go, I need a drink. A drink of coffee, that is. Okay. So let's chat about the 9 to 5 grind. The job market is key. You need to research employment rate in the city, major industries there, as well as the average salaries in your field. These are all super important. Don't forget to consider commuting times and public transportation options for where you want to live. These can seriously affect your quality of life. Stressful journeys or being stuck in traffic for hours every day is not going to be fun. I've done that before, trust me. If you've already got that job that you're relocating for, let me know in the comments, what is that job you're actually relocating for? I'd love to hear it. So as someone who did commute at the beginning of my career, I know how commuting for an hour a day can really impact your livelihood and your happiness. So it is super important that you take this in consideration and make sure you feel good about the commute you're taking every single day. Number 5, let's talk about safety and crime. Safety is, of course, a top priority. I would recommend using websites like the police department website of the city you're moving to. You could also use apps like Citizen if you don't have Citizen yet. This is a good one that reports different crime. I always like to look at a crime map online where I can find out where is the crime concentrated, what type of crime is it, and what's actually going on in that neighborhood. This is specifically important if you are someone who might be nervous about where you're moving, or you may be moving there alone. It's really important to take these things into consideration. You'll want to check the crime rates and the safety information for these different neighborhoods in your city. If you want to know more about neighborhood crime stats, I covered this topic a little while back. You can actually click on this video here, wherever it's going to be on the screen, and check out that video as well that shows you how to find the crime stats in your city. Let's head to number 6, education and schools. So if you have kids or plan to have kids in the future, you're probably going to want to check out the local schools. You can research school ratings and districts using websites like greatschools.org. You can use a website called Niche, and you can also even use something like Neighborhood Scout to find out what people are saying about the schools in that neighborhood. These are all great resources that you may want to use. You can consider both private and public school options if those are available where you're moving. And don't forget about researching the nearby colleges and universities as well. This can not only play an impact on the type of schools that you're seeing in the city, but it could also play an impact on where your children go to school if that's where you're going to stay. Now, number 7, this is one of my favorite, living in Seattle, weather and climate. Are you someone who loves to get out in the sun, or do you love dancing in the rain? Now, what I'm saying is don't underestimate the impact of weather. It's very important. If you're used to mild winters, a city with heavy snowfall is going to be a big lifestyle adjustment for you. And in reverse, if you're a Wisconsin local, a Texas summer heat wave is definitely going to be too much to bear, most likely. Now, you want to look at the climate in your new city, including the average temperatures, what's the rainfall like, and how are the seasons in that place. Drop an emoji below to let me know what your dream weather looks like and what the conditions are like. I want to know what those look like in the comments below. Mine has got to be probably the sun emoji with a little bit of beach. Now, a heat wave might be too hot, so I need a little wind in there as well. Okay, number 8, we're going to talk about healthcare and services in this section. So access to quality healthcare is going to be crucial. It's one of those things where you hope you won't need it, but you've absolutely got to make sure that you've considered it. Look into things like hospitals, clinics. You're going to want to know about healthcare service and specialists in your future area. These are important because you're going to want to know if you need some sort of special type of care, if those are available, and what the time is going to be if you need to go to a place like an emergency room or a specialist. Do they have on-demand clinics? Those can be really important as well. I know that I often use those if I get sick really quickly. I'll go into something that allows patients in on demand. Number 9, transportation and travel. Now, this is a big one depending on what your expectations are. Getting from A to B. We touched on this earlier with commuting, but transportation is so much more than just getting to work. The travel infrastructure of your chosen city can make a big difference to your entire life, from hanging out with friends to grabbing something at the store. So you'll want to look into public transportation options, traffic conditions, and proximity to major highways and airports. I know for me that it's really important when I'm traveling that I be easily accessible to an airport. So if you are thinking about getting from your home to an airport so that you can take a flight for vacation, that's going to be something that you want to make sure you research. Good transportation links can definitely ease daily commutes and make living and traveling easier, and just make your life generally smoother all around. So it's really important that you research this one as well. Now, number 10, culture and entertainment. Are you a football fan? Or maybe you love to go to the movies? Do you love live music? These are all important to consider. No matter what your preferred choice of entertainment is, explore what your chosen city or state has to offer. Think restaurants, nightlife, parks, museums, and events. All of these are really important. A vibrant cultural scene is guaranteed to enhance your overall quality of life and make sure that you have stuff that you can go out and do if that's what you want to do. Finding local event calendars and social media groups can really help you get a feel for the local community. I would recommend before you move, join some of these groups, see what it's like out there and what it feels like to be in the community and what you could do on any given weekend. That could be super essential to helping you know if you're making the right move. Number 11, one of my favorite, finding the right realtor. So when moving to a new city, a knowledgeable realtor can really be invaluable. You want to look for agents with good reviews online, and you want to make sure that they have an extensive knowledge of the area that you're moving into. Ask for recommendations from friends, or you can use online platforms like Zillow or Redfin. You can find reputable agents through their brokerage websites, or even Google top realtor in whatever city you're moving to. As a Seattle local for 10 years, I've lived in multiple neighborhoods around the city and share that expertise with all of my clients who come through so that they know exactly what they can expect when they move to that city, what it will be like. Hey Mosh is coming to join the video. If you're watching this and you want to reach out, feel free to reach out to me if you're thinking about moving to Seattle or another city in the United States. I have real estate partners all around the country that I can also connect you with. But this is super important because a real estate resource is super invaluable to finding the right place that you want to live ultimately. Last but not least, if you're still here and you've made it to number 12, I want you to drop a 12 in the comments below because we are on our final tip for when you're moving states or cities. That brings me to the last point. Every single neighborhood in a city is going to feel totally different. So number 12 is get acquainted with the neighborhoods. To get an accurate feel for the vibe of different neighborhoods, you'll need to spend some time exploring them. Visit all of the local parks in the neighborhood. Make sure you're visiting the shops and the restaurants. Get chatty with other residents around the neighborhood and ask them their opinions. What did they think about the neighborhood? What do they like? What do they dislike? If you feel comfortable talking to those people. If you're not able to go in person, find experts who can give you the lowdown online. So there's plenty of videos on YouTube about different neighborhoods. For example, if you want to know about different local areas in Seattle, I've got you covered. Here are the links to some of the videos I've done on different neighborhoods in Seattle. But make sure you're doing your research online. Find out what those neighborhoods are that you like to live, where the prices match what you want, and do some research, or if you can, even go to visit and ask the locals what they like, what they dislike about the neighborhood, what it's like to live there. These are all super important. That pretty much covers it. So moving to a new city or state is a big step. It's a huge step, but with careful research and planning, you can find the perfect place to call home. Remember, if you're looking to relocate to Seattle, be sure to drop me a message so we can start talking about your plans of moving. Or if you're looking for a real estate agent in another city, I have partners across the country who I highly value because they uphold a high standard of quality for all of their clients, just like I do. So don't hesitate to reach out if you want a recommendation. If you found these tips helpful, be sure to give this video a thumbs up. Make sure you to subscribe to the channel and share this with anyone you know who's thinking about moving cities or moving states so they can go through these 12 items that they need to know in order to be prepared for their move. Happy moving!